Welcome to Make It Your Business, the podcast. Get the advice you need to grow your business by getting guidance from industry experts and interviews with successful small business owners. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
So, Christoph.
Yes.
Buongiorno.
Yeah.
Right, burn question.
Yep.
Everyone's lips, networking.
Mm-hmm.
What's the phrase? Show somebody their network where you can work out how much money they have?
I've never heard of that.
Have you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I may paraphrase that.
Yeah.
But there is merit to it.
Okay.
If you've got a product or a service, more people know about it. Proportionally, the more people will buy it.
Mm.
So, you're starting off. It's quite scary networking. You've been to a networking. You do.
I've done events. Yeah.
So, let's talk about physical face-to-face networking first, because it is important. But somebody who hasn't done it, they're going to say, okay, where do I start? Got any words on that?
Yeah, so it's always good. Like, obviously, there's different types of networking events you can go to. Where you get your more general ones, which tend to be sort of like, a mixture of all sorts of different types of businesses, which are always great. I've been to one which was Geek Night in Milton Keynes, which I can thoroughly recommend.
It's like a subject-orientated,
Yeah.
common. It's not so much on the business side. It was just a
No, it does brush on business as well. But yeah, you got a lot of tech companies there, and different people, which is great. And you have like, I think they do 1 minute pitches where you pitch to the audience your business and what you do. Yeah, it's good fun though, because it's very.
Once you get into it, yeah. Absolutely.
So things like that could be quite beneficial, because you in the space of 10 minutes, you've seen 10 different people and know exactly what they offer and what they do. And if you need some of their services, it's great, because they're local business people. And if you're after services for that particular whatever they're
So
offering.
for your local business, your recommendation would be jump into the local networking space.
Yeah, obviously see if there's any industry-specific ones tailored to what your business does. For example, it might be dental, it might be industrial, whatever it is. It might be networking events within those sectors. So that would always be a good place to start. But yeah, there's both regional and sort of national events.
Because I remember when I first started networking, it really is daunting. You walk into this group of strangers, don't you? You're a new business owner. Where do you start? I do think people overthink it.
Yeah.
I think one misconception is that they are giant sales pitches. I do appreciate what you've just said. You get the 1 minute pitch to introduce yourself, which, a lot of people call it like the elevator pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which, it's really interesting, actually. Everyone should have an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And mine changes consistently, and sometimes it's concise and sometimes it's not. But to think about, what are your benefits to your clients, what you offer differently, in a concise 1 minute is important. I mean, what I found, zooming back, when I look at people I've met at networking events that have turned into business relationships and all friends, it's never started with any sort of sales pitch.
No.
It's always been, oh, hey, I'm Dell, what do you do?
Yeah.
That's another interesting thing, is to ask them questions, but I'll come back to that in a second. And then we've talked about something other than our businesses, and that's developed into a human connection.
Yeah.
Because I think physically or digitally, that's what it's about, isn't it? People buy off people. But that is one of my tips if you're nervous in a networking event, is to ask the other people lots of questions.
Okay.
Because I've got no reference to it now. Maybe we can link it in the text, but there is a well-known psychological situation where if you ask somebody a lot about, people like talking about themselves. So if you ask a lot of questions, they'll feel engaged and connected to you.
Yeah.
If you're nervous about talking, find some really good questions. Listen to what the person's saying, engage with them that way.
Yeah. And quite often, if you ask them questions, they'll answer you obviously, but then at the end of it, they'll say, oh, what do you do? Or, and it'll start that conversation flow.
No. That is good. I mean, the other thing I'd like to tell people about networking is it's not some instant gratification. You're not going in there with a business card and coming away with dollars. It is long term, isn't it? It's, it's those little bits following up You know, if I meet 20 people, one of them will follow up. Guarantee that's the one person I'm still in some sort of, you know, collaboration or communication with a year later. Because they took the effort to go, oh, hey, great to meet you. Yes, sometimes they pitch in. They're like, oh, can you check out my new widget bobbin, or my business offers this? And as I say, I've done business. I've got insurance through agents I've met there, IT services. I mean, inadvertently, it wasn't quite a networking event. It was an event that we networked where we met. You know, it was outside of business, but it was a group of strangers that came together with a common subject and just talking all those years ago.
Right. Exactly. I was going to say, one thing that I would recommend, like, everybody used to go to a networking event with business cards. And like now in the sort of 2022, it's not a done thing. Like, everybody goes digitally. So a lot of people exchange LinkedIn profiles. You bring up a LinkedIn code and you can just scan it. But yeah, you can also, you know, if you create a QR code, there's lots of websites that you can do it for free. You create a QR code which has all your contact information behind it, so that you can just say, scan my code. That brings up all my details. Because business cards are getting a little bit old hat now.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm going to say that first and foremost. But here's my devil's advocate. There are some people that we listening to this that are in traditional businesses. Say they're a local dry cleaners. It doesn't matter the industry, but the point I'm saying is not everyone's tech savvy. So my caveat to what you said there, because I do agree the world's changing, don't be put off if you've only got business cards and don't know how to make a QR code. Just go and talk. Just go and have a chat. You know, if you can listen to Chris and you can get on LinkedIn and find your link, absolutely amazing. But don't be put off by that. All right, let's talk about the real networking now, because face-to-face events are good, but for outreach, I mean, there's not many better places than LinkedIn and Facebook in their groups, is there? You know, if I think about industry connections I've made, perhaps they have been face-to-face, but I've always said, oh, yeah, we're in the same group. I've definitely commented on subjects within groups that even years later I've met someone and they've gone, oh, you know, I will remember you. Not necessarily what I commented, but, you know, that sort of commonality. And if you're then going for the ask, or you're then like, oh, you know, hey, let's say, for example, you're a florist in Bolton. There will be Bolton, we love Bolton, residents of Bolton, Bolton, I'm just trying to think, I'm making things up and they're not coming fast enough today. But I think that's, people miss a trick. What I love about digital networking within the groups, I don't have masses of time. The business side of things, children, life. If there's an event on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, I think that'd be awesome. But one of my kids has a club. I obviously have to do the family part. The thing I love about digital side of groups is you can jump in as and when. I can have 10 minutes before bed. Or 10 minutes in the morning before everyone wakes up, and I could be on the group, looking at the subjects, connecting with people, answering, confirming, and networking that way. I mean, pro networkers do a lot of out stuff as well, don't they? I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at that side. So I think I'd like to tell people you don't necessarily need to be good at it all, but you do need to put yourself out there. Have you had any success online?
I mean, like within our business, we do outreach for certain clients. I think it's super important to obviously understand who you're targeting and target the right people. I was going to say, for instance, it doesn't have to be a networking event that you can particularly go to, but I was going to say, as an example, like we recently went to Brighton SEO, which was like a good event with like lots of different conferences on for all around, centered around SEO. But that was a good chance to network. So there was like-minded people there, and not only other agencies that offer similar things, but clients that are looking for prospective services and things like that. So it doesn't have to be dedicated
shows. Place.
Trade shows would be good as well. But it doesn't have to be dedicated networking events. Any event where you've got like-minded people, or your potential customer, or whoever really. It's
I can think of at least 2 examples off the top of my head that I've met somebody in the queue for a coffee at a trade show
Yeah.
and exchange numbers.
Yeah.
And something's come of it. You know, it may not have been. Well, I can think of one that was good, and the other one, I know what they offered. They sent me a quote for it. I didn't go with it. But the point was,
it could have come. Something could have come.
Yeah. Because you can't really do that in Costa or Starbucks, can you?
Yeah.
A turnaround. Henry was it? But the trade show, it seems, it's acceptable, isn't it? To say, oh, what are you here for? The trade shows generally are a sort of subject orientated, aren't they?
Yeah.
It may be a bit broader on some elements, but yeah, if you are of a certain, you're into HVAC, but you go to a HVAC conference, there's a good chance that, the person next to you will be a supplier, will be somebody in your industry, maybe you can swap work, exchange problems, share.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in one of the other videos about how lonely it can be. I use the word lonely because I think it's the right adjective. It's not like I'm so lonely. No, but it's more the empty space you have as a business owner to solve problems, because each business is so unique that sometimes you feel like there's nobody to reach out to.
Yeah.
And getting a network in that sense, while we're on networking, let's talk about inner circle now. Because, if you're looking at somebody else who owns a HVAC business, they're going to understand 60%. They're going to be common problems that overlap, aren't they?
100%, yeah.
So that's always reassuring. But, a wider network in the respect of bringing people into this advice, I mean, a network can sometimes be people you've not met. I know that sounds ridiculous, but do you ever sit there and think sometimes, like, I'm a big fan of Gary Vee. I mention him a lot. Big marketer. But sometimes I think he's my friend.
No.
Because I watch his content so much. Because he gives me advice.
Yeah.
So it can be from that sense. But if you can get people around you that have got business, industry experience, and locales, it's super interesting, because it doesn't always come out, the way you will. But I think we can both agree that networking is a positive thing.
Yeah, I don't think anything like bad can come of it. It's
that's a good question. Could anything bad come of network?
it all depends on obviously what you disclose, but it's like I've never had any bad experiences, and
anything you'd avoid, do you think?
That's a good question. Probably, I don't think so. Like, as long as I wouldn't travel miles and miles for like going to like little quaint events, but I'd always try and keep it local, and go to where your potential customers are, or like where you're looking to do business, wherever that is, and try and look for local events for
be specific as you can as far as locality.
And there's you can Google online and like Facebook, there's so many different events that you can go to.
So try them, but try and think about how much energy you're exchanging for this event.
Yeah, I mean, like there's always lots of useful information about the events. So before you go, obviously these events would have been running months, years, whatever. So you'd be able to get a feel, before you even go, of like, the caliber of people that are going to be going.
Right. Well, have you done some Everbright events?
Yeah.
You go on there and you can go subject and get these really sort of small clicky meetups.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of clicky's the wrong word, that's a negative. What I meant is small, very specific, server speed, SEO tips, and you've got 4 guys and girls around the table. Very micro uniques.
Yeah. Notice you haven't talked about the biggest benefit of going to these events.
Well, don't know.
You usually get free food and drink.
Free. Well, is it free? Some of them you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all networking events are free.
Yeah.
So, but there is normally somebody sponsoring some nibbles.
Some little buffet food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all over that.
You know me. Keep Dale happy. Free food. No, it is definitely good. I want people to put themselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to pick the right ones. Okay, let's round it off there. Any last top tips for networking?
I don't think so. No, I'd just say obviously make sure you got some form of having, sharing your contact information, or making it, the easier you make it, the more you're going to do it. So you basically want to make new friends, make contacts, and
be brave.
Yep.
Don't expect anything out of it. It's not an instant sales situation.
Yeah, just go up and speak to people.
Connect.
Yeah.
No good things happen.
Cool.
Bye for now.
Thanks.